Hey everyone, I am back with another monthly making podcast. I'm actually back early, about 2 weeks early. So I have been working so much on all of my crafts. I've been knitting a ton, and I thought, why not record again? Because my last podcast was really long. So if you're new here, my name is Marina. I am the creator and owner of Pineapple Yarn, which is a small hand-dyed yarn company here in coastal South Carolina. So if you love knitting, bright and bold colors, and want to join in, grab a cup of tea, coffee, whatever your beverage is of choice. And yeah, let's get started. I'm drinking this really yummy tea. This is Pukka Tea, and I included this in my Crafting Calm kit from January. And it's not your usual tea. It has ashwagandha, hemp seed oil. It's just very calm and peaceful. So I'm drinking that today, and I'm drinking it from my favorite mug. This is from Rachel Potts. It's a beautiful handmade mug, and I'm going to be carrying these in my shop very soon. As a matter of fact, I think the shipment should be here within maybe the next week or two, and then I'll be putting it in my shop during next month's shop update, which I think is the 7th of March, but I will let you know that when the time has come for that. So my first finished object is this sweater, and I love it so much. It was a wonderful pattern to knit. It's a wonderful finished object. I'm so happy that I knit it. This is the Key sweater from Petite Knit, and if you've ever seen this sweater, the sample is black and white, and that definitely grabbed my attention when I first saw it. But I wanted to knit this in a like a brighter color and just more like I'm craving spring color, if that makes sense. I knit the smallest size, and I actually went up a needle size on the body, and I went up 2 needle sizes on the sleeves because I tend to knit sleeves tighter. I learned my lesson on the neck and went to the recommended needle size for the rib, and that worked out great. So last time I showed this, I had kind of questioned the neck. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. It was long and it was tight because I didn't follow the pattern. So what I did is I unpicked the neck and then knit from the bottom up, and that worked out great. I'm really happy with this neck length. And then any other modifications I did on the sweater besides the needle size was the cropped body length. So as you can see, this body has a ton of positive ease, lots of positive ease. So I wanted more of a cropped sweater to balance out the proportions of that. So I made sure with the sleeves that they ended at my wrist instead of kind of those like extra long sleeves that I usually knit. And then also cropped. So this ends right below my waist for like high-waisted pants. So I'll just sit up so you can see it a little better. In the pattern, it has 4 of these white stripe motifs. So I basically eliminated one of those and knit everything else exactly to the measurements, and that worked out really great. The measurements were great for me. I'm gonna move my camera real quick. Okay. And the sleeves I just knit until I felt like they were long enough, added the ribbing, and it was really, really simple. The yarn I'm using is one of my yarns, and it's in my dyed to order listing. It is a beautiful yarn. I could not be happier with this yarn. It is a non-superwash organic merino yarn, and I just think that it is so beautiful. It's very squishy, it's very soft, and it's very warm. I can attest to that. And now normally with my sweaters, I knit them with a superwash yarn because I find that in my experience, superwash yarns usually are not as warm as a non-superwash yarn. I don't really know. This is just, I don't know if other people feel this way, but I feel like that with my sweaters. And I like that normally because I live in a warmer climate. And so we just don't have the long cold seasons to maximize use of very warm sweaters. And so this is probably right now the warmest sweater I have, besides the terrazzo sweater that I knit, which holds a strand of mohair silk with it. That's also a warm sweater, and also a non-superwash sweater, interestingly enough. So the key sweater's done. I could see myself knitting this again, and even knitting it without the color work, just a plain, one color sweater, because I do like the proportions and the shape a lot. I feel like it's very flattering and very comfortable. So this was a great knit, and very pleased to have it finished. I have 2 pairs of socks finished this week. The first one I'm going to share with you is called This Modern Love. It's by Tia's Terrific Threads, and I think I purchased it last year. So I'm just going to put one. Oh, I can put both on the blockers. They are identical. I made no mistakes this time, like I did last time. So that was good. The accent color, the contrast color that I used is Poolside. It's a pineapple yarn color, and I really, really like it. So these are hybrid socks, which what I call hybrid socks. They are the main body of the colorway I knit on my sock machine, which is an Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster. And then what I do is I take the tube and I add heels, toes, and cuffs after the fact. So what I did on my toes and heels, I knit 2 rounds and then started the decreases just like your basic toe. And then I left 16 stitches on each needle and grafted or did the Kitchener stitch to close it up. And then on the heel, I did the exact same, did 2 rounds and then started decreases until each needle had 16 stitches. The only difference is this is a cut in heel. So if you have seen, you can look it up on YouTube or wherever you can find tutorials, but this is actually a cut in heel. And that's basically how I do all of my heels. And then the cuff itself is a 15 stitch round of knit 2, purl 2, and then because I was going up, I did Jeny's surprisingly stretchy bind off on the top, which always works great. So I thought these were just so pretty. They're fun for February, and I'm sure that's when I purchased this yarn, was last February. So I was glad to have those done. Glad that I didn't mess up on the stripe situation again, like on my last podcast. The next colorway that I have is my February colorway that I do have in the shop right now. And anything I talk about, I will link below in case you are interested in checking that out. But like I said, this is the February 2025 colorway, and it's in my shop right now. And this is the sock set version. So this is a full 100-gram skein of this main colorway and then a 20-gram mini skein of this contrast colorway. So I really loved this colorway because of all of the, it almost looked like splotches. The way this knit up was so cool. I loved the pooling, just the little bits of pooling on this colorway. But there's a soft neon pink, a cherry red, a couple of different shades of purple, and then really delicate, tiny aqua speckles. I just thought this was really pretty. I also left, when I dyed this yarn, I also left white in it. So you can see that, a little bit of white in there, just to bring a contrast to all of the other colors. On these socks, I did exactly the same thing as my last pair of socks. Did the heels and toes the same, knit 2, purl 2 cuff. So really no different than the other socks. And I think I made a little bit shorter cuff on these. Usually with Tia's Terrific Threads, because I do knit a lot of her yarn, I have exactly the number of repeats that I use, and so I don't measure these at all. I actually just go by the stripe, and that always ends up working out really great. These I did measure, and I think what I did is I left 3.5 inches here, and then this is 5.5 inches from what I can recall. Somewhere around there. So I'm not exactly sure at the exact measurements, but that's about it. So I was really happy with these. I thought they were really pretty, really nice to have some bright colors in February as we wait for warmer weather. And I'm really only working on one project right now. I don't have any socks cast on or anything. I do have some sock tubes that I need to start knitting on, but I just finished the February 2025 socks. So I don't have any socks in progress, which is really surprising. But I do have a large sweater in progress. This is the Handsome Sweater by Petite Knit. It is a sweater for my husband. I hesitate on giving the pattern the Handsome Sweater name to this because it is not like that pattern at all. It is heavily modified. Here it is so far. I completed the body. This is a top-down raglan sweater, I should mention, as was my key sweater. I forgot to also mention that. This is also a top-down raglan. So it's super basic, very, very easy. I've told the saga of my husband's first camouflage sweater, so I'm not going to go into that again. The good thing is that with this sweater, I have notes on exactly how he wants it knit and the measurements and everything. So it has really made this knit go by quickly. And I dyed this yarn according to the colors he wanted. So he wanted basically a dirty yellow. I mean, that's the best I can put it. And I put lots of speckles in it, chocolate brown. I don't know if you can see that. Chocolate brown, like kind of like a rust color, dark green, yellow. So that's turning out really great. And I'm using the usual needles that I use for a DK weight yarn. This is my Lonnie DK base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It holds up very well. It's a really, really good sturdy base. And I'm using a US 4 for the ribbing and a US 6 for the body. I did go up a needle size with the sleeves, as I have been doing because I knit magic loop and it ends up just being a lot more tight than the body, a lot more tight of gauge, and it's turning out great. So I don't know how long the sleeve is, halfway done, thereabouts, and I'll start on the second sleeve. But my goal is to get this done in about a week. That's what I would really love. It's pushing it. I'm not sure if I will, but I would love to get it done in about a week for him. This was a birthday present for him, so I really would like to get this done so he can wear it while the weather is still cold. And I am alternating skeins. I can't remember where I was. I just got interrupted. But I am alternating skeins because one batch of yarn, even though I dyed them at the same time, I dyed them exactly the same. One is just, I think this one's slightly lighter than this one. Now, I don't know. I'm in front of a window, so it's kind of, I don't know how accurate it is. But it's working out great. I think it's a little more variegated on camera than it is in real life. But yeah, it's great. He's really happy with it so far, so fine by me. So that'll be nice when that's done, and he can enjoy it. But that is really all I've been working on. The other thing I have been working on that I'm really excited about is that I got my spinning wheel out. It is a Kromsky Minstrel. I've had it for years, and you know, it's just seen better days. I have used it so much. I've spun so much on it, and yeah, I took a little trip on the internet and started looking at other spinning wheels. I would, in theory, I would really love to get another spinning wheel. And the reason for that is because I felt like the Minstrel, I've kind of outgrown it as a spinner. I treadle slowly, and the Minstrel just doesn't keep up with the speed I need. So I've been using my electric eel wheel a lot, and I just don't usually use my Minstrel. So I would love to hear if you have a spinning wheel, if you have one that you just love, and if you would put it in the comments below, because I'd love to hear if you spin, what wheel you enjoy. I may be in the market for one eventually. We'll see. But maybe I'll have some spinning next time to share with you. Hopefully I will. Yeah, so that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, I'd love if you'd give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll probably be back in about 2 weeks and have some more fun things to share with you. Until then, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.